Bryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for
Uh,
inviting me, by the way.
no, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you onto the show. Now, you are, of course, based in Washington right now, right?
Yes.
And there's a big time difference. So it's
Yeah,
8
8
p.m.
hours.
here in the UK and it's 12 p.m. midday where you are.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably going to go to sleep after this.
Oh, no, I've still got a few hours
Oh.
left. Still got a few
Oh,
hours
really? What
left.
what time do you usually like just say, "Okay, I'm kind of done. I got to rest."
Well, dude, that's a problem that I've actually been experiencing over the last month or so, and I think we connected about this on
Yeah.
Facebook, if you remember,
Right.
a couple of
Yes.
weeks ago, right? And I
Yeah.
think I put a post out about finding myself in a mental slump,
Mm-hmm.
and you gave some very wise words on that post, and that all came back to my issue with sleeping because I haven't been managing my sleeping hours too well over the last month or so. So
Yeah.
that's something I wanted to also touch on with you a bit later on because I know you are super into mindfulness. You pay a lot of attention to self-development, personal development, and from the great content that I've seen that you've been putting out on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, you seem to place great importance on the mind and trying to understand how our mind works. So let's start there. Where did this journey and inspiration start from you? Why do you like focusing on the mind and how the mind works?
Um well, shit. I'm sorry. I don't know
Don't worry.
but I mean, it's kind of who I am. But I mean, really, it all started when I started to realize in myself that I was like, what am I doing with my life? Back then I made a bunch of when I was a kid, I made a bunch of mistakes, things that I know hurt some people, and some people like I'm still in connection with till this day with some of those people. So knowing that I did something that hurt these people was starting to hurt myself at one point, because like I started to get the awareness of how shitty I was, what a shitty person I used to be, and and yeah, and when I started to learn about myself, learn kind of what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and I started to get out of that hole. At first I had that awareness, and I even at one point almost I was kind of starting to feel like I was going to get into depression because of in my journey when I started to grow. At first I had the awareness, but not necessarily the tactics or techniques or tools of how to get out of feeling shitty. Like I had the awareness to feel shitty, but not enough knowledge to how to get out. And so that kind of was starting to make me feel depressed because I was like, dude, you were so shitty. Like, what kind of person were you being? Look at what you did to these people. Look at how you were, all that stuff. And I didn't know how to get out. And eventually, like, I started to continue to just consume a bunch of information on YouTube. At first, I started with motivational speakers, and that kind of from there, YouTube, obviously, the algorithm starts to recommend a bunch of other shit. And so then I just started going to the recommendations after motivational stuff. It would recommend something about the mind or something about how to make money sometimes, and like that. And it started to snowball, and I started to realize that like I started to unlock certain things in myself, and a lot of that came from up here. And so that's when I started to be like, oh, like there's a whole other thing to this experience. There's a whole component that I'm missing, and that was the mind. And so then I started to focus so much on my own mind, and started to see, it's like when you start pouring water in a flower and it starts to flourish. That's what I started to see in my life.
Yeah. I mean, that's really beautiful to hear because I've been through something very similar in my own life. And it's only recently, I would say, in the last 4 to 5 years that I've really tried to grasp this whole idea, as you say, of kind of delving deep and asking those important questions and trying to figure out what is it that we are and what is it that
Hmm.
we want to try and
Right.
what is it that we want to try and get to through this journey that we call life, right? And similar to yourself, I've let a few people down in my life. I've regretted a lot of things. And at the time, as you can maybe appreciate, you do feel really shit,
Yeah.
especially when you when you're causing harm to other people, not necessarily in a violent or physical way, but in emotional sense.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so it's taken me quite a few years to actually get over that and to even begin to forgive myself.
Hmm.
So it'd be interesting to hear your views on forgiving oneself. How did you deal with that process of getting past what you did and ultimately forgiving whatever you did in the past?
Forgiving what I did in the past. Um, well, for one, it's the understanding that like life continues moving forward, right? Life is always constantly moving forward. The second that you start to fall behind with who you used to be, you're starting to fall behind in life as a whole. You're not moving along with life. So understanding that and understanding that life continues to move on has allowed me to say, you know what, like I literally can't. I like when you start to get that understanding, you start to feel the connection with you in your life, you know, with you and the universe as a whole. And so when you're doing I'm sorry, my son just came in and
No
got me a
problem,
little
no
distracted.
problem.
But when you start to have that awareness, you start to feel that connection with life, and you start to not even feel resistance to go with life. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that really helped me to move on, not necessarily the part of forgiveness, but to keep moving on, moving forward with life. And I call it not necessarily moving with the flow, because if you're moving with the flow, the way I think of it is you're just going and you're not necessarily picking what you want to do. You're not taking decisions, you're just moving along with it. So what I call it is working with the flow. You see what life, where life is going, and you see where you can do things, where you can work, how you can do the things with the circumstances that life has put in this present moment. How can you work with that? And that's what that gives me. But with forgiving myself, um I think that happened over time. It's not a thing that happens like that, like you're just say you're gonna forgive yourself and that's that, you know. I think the real forgiveness comes with your growth, when you realize that you have actually become a better person, you know, and that happens over time. So if anything, I would say like just whatever it is that you started to work on, even if it's the slightest thing that you started to work on yourself, grab that snowball and roll it and just keep going along with your growth, and that's going to give you the ultimate forgiveness of yourself.
Yeah. And I've been watching some of your content of late over the past few months, and more recently, actually,
Thank you.
since we confirmed this session that we're going to have, which we're recording today, and there seems to be a real kind of deep thought in how you speak, how you portray your thoughts, your emotions on camera, and I think it comes from quite a real place inside of you. So, do you think that's come about because of this journey of self-evaluation and self-reflection that you've been on?
Yeah, a lot of the like a lot of the things that, like for example, um you can become a product of the experiences that you have lived through your whole life, you know. So who you are today is literally a sum of all the things that you may have done in your life up until now, you know. um I I express myself like this now, and I think it's because of all the knowledge, all the information that I now gain. Like I read a lot, I listen to a lot of videos that inform me about a lot of things that I'm interested in. Got to make sure that I'm actually interested in. So you know, it's not even that hard to put in the work. But like I listen to a lot of those things, and sometimes it's not like I try to make a memory. I try to remember every single thing that I learn, but I understand that also my subconscious mind is going to pick up some things that I don't necessarily have to focus on. And now, you know, back to what you were saying, when I talk and I express myself, sometimes my wife will ask me some questions, and I'll answer her. And when I start to answer, I know I know that I know the answer somehow. I know that I know the answer, but I don't know the words that are going to come out of my mouth, if that makes sense. And I just start speaking, and I realize that it feels like if there's a different force kind of coming from more inside, from more within, and it's I call it my essence. I'm allowing my essence to express itself. And I feel like that's why sometimes the things that I say come in deeper, because they're coming from more within, and I'm just simply allowing my essence to be expressed.
Yeah. By the way, I love how you just set me up perfectly for the next question. Because I was going through some of your stuff earlier, right? And I came across some very interesting pieces of content that you put out in relation to essence. Um, and I noted a few of these things down, and I just wanted to quickly bring it up and share it with you just to get your take on it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned essence, and in one of your YouTube videos, if you don't mind me quoting it, you said, if you want to generate a life that's more in line with your essence, you are going to have to start expressing yourself more. Don't don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
Hmm.
That's really interesting because you're linking getting in line with your essence to your own thoughts. So, what would you say would be your description of the relationship between your essence and your thoughts? How do you merge those two together?
How do you merge the two together? Focus, I would say. Focus. Me, I've been talking about my essence a little bit now, so it's like, um I don't need all that. Like, I don't need that deliberate focus. I've gotten to a point where it almost feels like my essence, I'm allowing my essence to just kind of express itself through my body and just, like, let it do its thing. And because it's my essence, I'm literally in line with it. So I don't have to worry too much about that if I'm allowing my essence to be expressed. The But it would be focus on the thought that's coming into your head. Is that something that's in line with you? Is that something that you know what I mean, that are you saying it just to say it, or there's like an actual force that wants to express that? And when you focus, you can kind of feel that, is this something that I actually want to say to this person? And when when you start to express yourself, people start to know the kind of person that you are, and you start to attract those kind of people, and it's all through you expressing your thoughts. If you don't express your thoughts, how are the people going to know you're that kind of person? They won't. um, for example, me, like, I'm expressing that I do all this, that mindset, essence. I'm on Instagram posting this kind of stuff now because I've literally just allowed my essence to express itself in the things that I'm doing. I'm a guest in the Sabir Bhatti show. But if I wouldn't have expressed who I am, you wouldn't have taken an interest to say, you know what, I might invite this person. And everything starts to happen with you just literally allowing your essence to express itself. Things start to happen that are more in line with what you want. Let me put it that way, because you're
Yeah,
allowing your essence to be expressed. If you don't express yourself, things happen in front of you and you're going to pick that up. And whether or not it's in line with you, you're just going to be grabbing things. And your life is filled with things that either life threw at you or that people came and threw at you.
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And you're right. Even us talking right now for this period is quite amazing. Like, if you think about it, you're in Washington, I'm in the UK.
Yeah.
We've never met face to face
Right.
ever. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was preparing today's show, and I was reading over some notes and looking at your videos, thinking how incredible this world of social media is. Because I think we connected on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, at
about a
first.
year and a half ago, was it? Or something like that?
Something like that, over a
Something
year
like
ago
that.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite
It's
a
been a
while
while.
ago. And we connected, we had chats, and then there's been periods where we didn't connect. There's been a few
Right.
months where we spoke and then we didn't speak. Um, so I find that quite incredible that social media has the ability to bring people together in this way. And as you say, by you sharing what you've been sharing, I
Yeah.
connected with it, resonated with it. And from that, we've had this conversation. So you're absolutely right. This is quite awesome.
Yeah.
So how have you found this journey? Because I'm quite new to this as well. I've only been doing it for the last 12 months to 2 years, but I've really
Mhm.
struggled with being consistent.
Right.
And I've seemed to have this love-hate relationship with social media where I can be consistent for like a month, and
Yeah.
then I don't know what happens to me mentally. I had the ability to shut off very quickly again and not post anything for maybe 2, 3 weeks. So
Mm,
that's something I'm trying to work on myself.
yeah.
What's been your experience of that? I'd love to know.
I mean, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
That's literally how it is. Um, if I go and I try to make a video and it's not come like I'm already doing 2 takes, 3 takes, and I'm getting frustrated, I'm probably gonna put it down. I'm probably gonna say I'll try it tomorrow and
Yeah.
fuck it. Like, you know, but at least the content, the quality of the content that I will put out the next day, if I do it the next day with a better mind, with, more calm, the content that's going to come out is going to be even better for the audience, because sometimes it feels like, so like, I barely started with One Time Media and trying to grow this business, and I was even looking at some business assistants to kind of help me with this kind of stuff. And one of the business assistants gave me uh well, he said this. He said most people know how to move content through the internet, but most people don't know how to move energy through the internet. And that got me thinking. I feel like sometimes if you're doing a video and you're not actually on the video, like your mind is not necessarily focused on what you're doing, you're not feeling that joy, then the energy that's radiating in your body is more negative than positive. So when you're making that video, they might not feel it, but they probably will see some subtle discomfort or subtle irritation in you when you're making that video. There are people that are actually able to pick up on that just by either looking at how you might have expressed your eyes or your mouth, or you might have taken a deep breath at a certain point. And being that millions of people can sometimes watch your video, what if at least a few of those capture on that, and those people are going to go away. So I if I don't feel like doing something, I'm not going to do it. I haven't posted a video on YouTube in the last I think like 2-3 weeks, because I've been working on my website. I've been working on my blog that I wanted to start with my business as well, and other things, to get my business going. And I haven't necessarily had the time to record a video, but I know that if I try to cram that up along with all the work that I'm already doing, I might start feeling irritated. So I just kind of have to make the conscious choice that I'm gonna come to make the videos when I'm better, when like things that I'm working on are more stable. The website has been taking a lot of time for me, and I'm very uh how do you say, like I do a lot of things myself. So the website took me a bit, and I have not been able to put up a video, but I have to just kind of like make the conscious understanding that that's where I'm at this moment. But when the website's up, videos every week, blog every week, I'm posting on social media more. Sometimes on social media I don't post, you know I'm like, but sometimes I feel that rush, and I don't like the I'm like, I gotta get it done. And the energy that's moving through my body, the feelings, the negativity, I don't think it's worth
Yeah.
it. I don't think it's worth it, because you're supposed to feel happy when you're doing the thing that you love, and you go into the thing that you love and you're feeling, unhappy. Then at that point you're doing something that you don't love,
Sure.
and that's when you can start to hate doing what you love to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's good and very nice to hear that actually, that you are someone who prefers to post when you are in that zone, right? As opposed to just posting for the hell of posting something. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. And it
And
reminds me actually, because you may know of Gary Vee, right?
yes.
Yeah. And as you know, he's quite a big character when it comes to social media. And for the past 2, 3 years, I've been following him on and off. And as you know, one of the things that he likes to promote is
Hustle.
getting the hustle, exactly, which you are involved in. We're all trying to hustle. And he talks about letting go of that fear of what other people think, and just
Mhm.
post. If you want to post something, try not to think about too much about what would he think, what would she think. And he talks a lot about our kind of inner insecurities. And that was really hard for me to hear that kind of advice in the past, because I came from a TV background. So a
Mm,
lot of my career, I used to focus on the details, make sure this looks good, that looks good, everything has to be in its place, the background should be nice. But then he comes
right.
from the other angle and says, actually, the background doesn't matter, your clothes don't matter. You just focus on the message. If you want to say something, take out the camera and just record.
Yeah.
And it's only until recently I've been able to let go of that fear of how does this look,
Right.
and try to embrace, if you want to say something and you're in that moment, just say it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to get your thoughts on that when it comes to posting. How do
Yeah.
you deal with that dilemma?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's something that I need to work on myself as well. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Uh, right now that I'm doing this interview with you, I've been for a few days trying to figure out, do I use my DSLR camera to hook it up as a webcam so that it looks better,
Yeah,
better image, all that. And then I kind of ran into a roadblock with my DSLR. So it's like, okay, my video's already not gonna look as good as I wanted it to look. What's next? Well, let me look at at webcams. Let me look at webcams that have good quality. But I don't want to order it online because I'm not sure that it's gonna get here. So you start to see all the irritation that comes with trying to make things better sometimes, at least with the time that you have available to yourself. And I was trying hard, and then I ended up saying, you know what, fuck it, let me try and see what the camera from my laptop looks like. My wife helped me with the phone so that she can be out in a different room,
yeah,
and I looked at it. I hooked up the mic. I know, see, here's the thing, I know that the audio has to be good. At least I
yeah,
know audio has to be good. That's why I asked you at first which mic would sound better.
yeah,
I looked at my camera. I said, you know what, people understand. We're doing a Zoom call. Zoom calls, even with a DSLR, doesn't come out as good as a DSLR comes by itself.
yeah,
So I said, fuck it. It looks good enough. It looks well enough. That's it. It looks well enough. After that, I want to make sure that the people can hear my content. So let me get a good mic, and that's that, you know.
exactly.
But it's something that I need to work on myself as well, and I'm getting better at it. But I think it starts to, you become better at it when you start to post without the resistance of, like, you feel resistance when you don't have time and you're rushing it, so you got to get a post out. You start feel resistance, and then you start to think, but I don't have this, but I don't have that. No, do you want to post something? Okay, post something. That's
Yeah,
that.
it's true. Yeah.
That's that. Not like I need to post something.
Mm.
And then I feel like that. I feel like the thought of needing, that's what makes you think that you need it to be great, that you need it to be like, to look like you have a $20,000 camera. And when you start to do things just because you like to do them, I
Yeah,
think that's when you start to kind of push that aside, and you're like, okay, I want to make sure that they get my message, and that's what I'm gonna get through. And yeah,
yeah. And
I don't know if that makes sense.
no, no, absolutely. I'm listening so intently because it's so interesting what you're saying.
Thank you.
And um, like, honestly, personally speaking, like, from my own experience, putting yourself out there on social media, it's not easy. And
No.
I found it very difficult. Even to this day, I have to sometimes get past that mental barrier
Yeah.
of forgetting about anything else other than your message. And ultimately, whatever
Yeah.
you're sharing yourself is your message, right? And what I'm trying
Yeah.
to share is my message. But at times it can be a bit of a lonely experience because
Yeah.
it's just you in your own world trying to share
Mhm.
your message that you think is important, right?
Right.
So I guess I'm asking this next question from a selfish point of view for some advice from
Yeah,
your
go ahead.
experience, from your experience. If you ever come, or if you've ever found yourself in that situation where your space feels a bit lonely, because I'm sure you experience this as well with your
Yeah.
social media, whether it's your YouTube channel or your Instagram or your Facebook. if you found those lonely moments, how do you come out of them?
I mean,
Any tools that you use that could be helpful?
yeah, feeling alone. I guess I
Yeah, sorry, I meant not in the sense of being alone in terms of friends or family,
right.
but sometimes when you're in this world of creating content for social
Oh,
media,
so like,
in that sense, yeah,
so like maybe you're putting content and it's not like people are falling under the bus. So like you're sending this message out, but it's still you. It's still
yeah,
only you pushing this message. And like
yeah,
eventually when people fall behind, they start to support your message. So it's not just you. You actually have like a support,
sure,
like a supportive
yeah,
fan
yeah,
base.
yeah.
Um, I see. I don't. Yeah. I mean, do you do it for the other people or do you do it for yourself? Again, me, I'm just expressing myself. I'm just constantly expressing myself, and that's that. I
Mm,
look at what I want to do. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it, period.
mm,
So understanding that when I post a video, I'm doing this because I want to do it, not because I want to do it for the likes. Like literally it's just something like I this message I think is pretty cool. I like it. I'm gonna post it. That's it.
mm,
That's all it is. There's no other further thinking about it as far as to like, what people are gonna say, whether they're gonna like it. A while back I had somebody who I met at the store, and I exchanged a couple words with him. Then I followed him. He followed me on Instagram. But when he followed me, he went and said some things like, "Who are you posting this for, anyways? Nobody's even looking at your stuff. Like your pictures are, how do you say? They're not even well edited. You're not marketing your post. You're not doing this." I said, and he went on to comment on like 5 different posts that I have, and pretty much all of them were like him either discrediting what I was saying or like literally just saying, "Nah, you're full of shit," kind of stuff. And I just kind of replied like, "Oh, well, I'm doing this because I literally, being honest, I work by myself. I know I have not does that, but this is where I am in my journey and that kind of stuff. That's it. you know but this is where I'm at. He must have been in a different place. He must be already with his business, already making money and all that stuff. There's a different place that he's saying that from. He's not saying it from where I'm at, but I know where I'm at. I know where, like, if I'm not posting something, I know why I didn't post. So literally your comment, you coming to say to me that this is that and this and that, you don't even know what happened leading up to that post. you know um you were mentioning that it's hard sometimes to be yourself. It's hard sometimes to express your essence online, and I have that sometimes. A few weeks back I was going to post a picture. I posted a picture on my stories of where I had a joint in my mouth, but like this time it wasn't just me with a joint in the mouth. Like literally I put the camera, like the phone was like this close to my face, like literally putting it out there that I'm smoking weed.
yeah,
But I have people in my circle that I know don't like that, and these are older people, like friends of family or parents,
yeah,
from family members and those kinds of things. Even my mom is one. She's always been against me smoking weed, and now that I'm older and that she kind of just like I now have gone to the point where I literally do whatever I want, she sees that. And I know that there's some people that push back against what I do. And I was in the living room jumping when I was gonna post that story. Like my wife was there. I was like, oh my god, like I'm literally about to fucking post this. I can't do this, babe. I was telling her like, babe, I'm gonna post this. Like the blunt is on their face. Like they're probably gonna say something. Somebody's gonna say something. They're gonna shit on me. And I was nervous, and I posted it.
did you end up posting it?
I posted it. Yeah, I
You
posted
posted
it.
it.
I posted it. I was super hesitant to do it, but every time you do those kinds of things, you allow yourself to express yourself more throughout your life. You start to remove those little things that you feel should keep you from being yourself, and just saying, I'm just going to be myself. And that's why I purposely do things that are going to make me feel in discomfort, and I use social media because I know that nobody's going to come and punch me on the face. No, I'm not going to get into an altercation like that. If anything, it'll be a comment, it'll be like a dislike or whatever, but no harm done to me.
Yeah.
um
But
but
just coming back to that moment, actually, when you said you were hesitant and then you posted it, can I ask you to try and describe the emotions that you went through once you had posted it? So you went
once
from you went from a feeling of anxiousness and
yeah,
being a bit hesitant to then posting it. How did you feel
yeah,
once it was out there?
it's now you still feel discomfort because,
Right.
okay, it's out there, now you're just waiting for the reaction. That's what you can
Mm.
fall into. But
But I
um
guess you didn't really care at the time what people would say, right?
I
Or did you a little
no I
bit?
n- no, I don't necessarily care about what people are gonna say,
Yeah.
but I still do get this sense of like, I don't want to do it. I mean, I really do want to do it, but um maybe I don't want the backlash of it. um and maybe there's a part of me that still is like understanding that you kind of are going to care about what they say, and that's probably why you don't want to post it. But pushing yourself past that part is what takes you to not necessarily caring about what they're going to say. Always finding moments, even if it's small moments, to where you feel a tiny bit of discomfort. You start with small parts of discomfort, and you start to do those little things, and you start to grow yourself more and more, till then you are either growing a business that made you feel super super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's starting with the small things in your life. And if you look at your life, there are many small things that actually keep us from being ourselves. Small things, tiny little things. you know you start to work on those small, the micro, you start to work on those small little things, and it starts to build a bigger picture.
Sure. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I still sometimes, after posting it though, I'm still like, I'm probably gonna get something. But for the most part, I end up, after posting it, I end up doing something else, so it kind of either like distracts my mind from it. It's not like I posted and then I'm focusing on that.
Yeah. Now, I know that family means a lot to you. Um,
Yes.
you have a family, you have children. We had one of your children running in the background earlier,
Yeah.
which is great, man, because this is a recording interview.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And I
It's all
appreciate it. I appreciate that you agreed to doing it on Thursday. In fact, because like Wednesdays, we normally save Wednesday for family day. Yesterday it wasn't a full
right.
family day.
Okay.
So because I had to kind of get some stuff set up for the interview with you, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't um I didn't have a full on family day, but when we left the house, I mean, if anything, I might have shared a post, I might have shared a story, but after that, no work until like later on, that we came back home. Continued to make sure that I got the Zoom stuff going, and making sure that it's all well and done. But normally Wednesdays we set them full on for family day, and that's that. And I know I could be using a lot of that time to work, but I do care about my family. Myself, I do love my family. Therefore, it's a part of me that I do want to take care of. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you agreed to do it Thursday for that reason. If although if you would have said Wednesday was the day, I would have said, babe, can we switch family day to Thursday instead? And like that. And my wife is really great about working with me with the business venture that I'm in right now. So yeah, but I do prioritize my family.
No, of course. And that's really beautiful to hear, actually, that you have a particular day in the week just for family. And I think it speaks volumes about how you see your family. And I know we spoke a couple of days ago regarding this, and you placed family quite high in terms of what brings you joy and happiness, right? And you said family was one of those things.
Hmm.
And if you don't mind, just going through one of your quotes regarding families. You said the reason these things give you happiness is because I've become more conscious of them,
Hmm.
because I chose them and now I do them being more in line with what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's interesting because I'm extremely close with my brother, my two brothers, and my two parents, and it'd be interesting to get your take on how you've built that strong bond between your family, and you've managed to keep it going. And these initiatives like one day a week for your family, I think that's quite awesome because, as you know, we live in a world where we can get caught up in so many different things.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that family day?
Um, we've actually been doing it not too long, actually. And at first, when we started doing it, it wasn't all that great. I still, I would try to hop in to do a little bit of work. You know, the you that wants to continue working on your business. Um, I would still sometimes do a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there. But the thing is that when you're working on something, like for example, a video, you are saying, I'm gonna edit it, I'll get it done in, 45 minutes, and then you end up being there for 3 hours. And that would happen sometimes. But we started working on Family Day, like having it set probably a few months ago, if I'm honest. And it's gotten better over time. It's definitely gotten better over time. Um, but to your question of saying how I become more uh, conscious of them, is being more present when I'm with them. And if I'm constantly thinking of work when I'm with them, then I'm not necessarily present. I'm not necessarily taking in the moment with my family. And ultimately, the reason I find joy in that, and all in my family, and joy in my business, joy in my friends, is because I'm selective about these things. Like, I'm the one that chose them. So ultimately, it's a selfish act. And I understand that. It's I love my family. You see how that's an I want to be with my family. You know, I enjoy spending time with my friends. I love the business that I'm working on. But now, uh, choosing to do that is what makes me feel in line. That I'm the one choosing that I'm gonna be with my family. I'm the one choosing what business I'm gonna work on. I'm the one choosing the kind of friends that I have. That's why I'm happy when I'm with my friends, because they're friends that I've chosen, that I know are either in similar uh, like in a similar state as I am, or they can either, like, they bring me something, I give them something. It's like I'm selective about these things. I'm very selfish about it, but I do give. I give every time. I give. But it's always an I thing. I'm the one choosing for these things to be. If I at one point decided that maybe my family life was gonna hinder my whole existence, then I have to reassess, and it's tough. It's hard. Let me explain something to you. So
Sure.
my wife and I, we have decided to buy a school bus and convert it into a house and live in it, right?
Oh, wow.
Um, and we're just gonna travel in the United States, seeing new places, and
That's awesome.
and do that, But so, because my family is a family of five, and we kind of need a bit of a bigger bus, so we're gonna buy a bit of a bigger bus. In fact, we're gonna go see it today, by the way. After I'm done talking to you, we're gonna go look at the bus to buy it.
Wow.
um but sometimes I would talk to her, and she would sound a little bit hesitant, like, not hesitant, but like I could sense a little bit of fear in her voice when we were talking. And it would take me, because I've been looking for buses here and there, so I've seen different sizes and different types of buses. And when I would see that she would be kind of scared to do this, I would, in my mind, I was kind of hoping that she would not back out of this, because I've seen some smaller buses that I can go on by myself. It sounds cruel, and it's not that I would be thinking about leaving my wife. That's not the case. But you can kind of see how, okay, I would leave this part for now so that I can go on this journey, because like ultimately it's what I want. It's what I want to do. It's what's in line with me, my essence. And when you look at life the way I look at it now, life is too important. It only happens one time. I only have one opportunity to go on a bus journey. Only one opportunity. And if that was to change, I would not do it. A part of me would not be fulfilled, a part of me will not be fulfilled. And with that comes a lot of communication, a lot of understanding, a lot of talking, with the people involved, so they can understand kind of where I'm at, where my mindset is, and with all that kind of stuff. But it's ultimately a me thing. Like, the life that I'm leading, it's ultimately a life that I want. I'm the one choosing for myself. I can't allow people to control my life. If luckily my wife has she's still with me on this. We're doing this and she's super excited about it. It's just like, it's so different. Like, I would get scared sometimes, but I knew that I was going to do it regardless. But I can't know for her because I'm not her. So I would kind of be like, hopefully she doesn't back out of it, you know but it's that understanding. We It sounds selfish, but I do take a lot of people into consideration in my actions. When you're involved, I have to talk to you, I have to communicate with you, you know but it's my life. It's my life. If I was to say something happened and my wife didn't want to go on this bus journey, and I'm like, okay, well, then we won't do it. Imagine the energy that I'm generating every time that I talk about this bus is going to be suppressed for who knows how many years. The essence, my essence, is suppressed at that point, because what I wanted to do is not being done. So I'm suppressing my essence. I'm not allowing it to be expressed, you know. And it's hard. It's hard to make decisions like that sometimes, because you say no to something, but it's more like you're choosing what's more in line with you, what you want, and with that comes tough decisions sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so as you were speaking there, it reminded me a lot about kind of the emotions I went through over the last, I'd say, decade or so, making these hard choices of closing the circle of friends. Because as you know, when you're growing up through high school, college, university, you tend to have a larger group of friends that you accumulate over a few years, simply because you study with them. You may not necessarily have things in common or deep things in common, but because you spend a lot of time together, you just end up spending a lot of time together. And then over the years, as I progressed through my years, I realized more and more that I was having less and less in common with these friends. And this was about 5 or 6 friends I used to have. We used to hang around all the time, play football together, go to each other's houses, chill. It was great. Like, I had nothing against them as individuals. But like you were saying, as you grow up, for your own personal development, sometimes you have to be selfish and think to yourself, okay, what am I actually gaining from that friend? What am I gaining from this friend? And the circle that I had of maybe 4 or 5 has now literally become one. And I've never thought about this for a while, actually. And it's incredible that you talk about this, because it brought up a lot of memories for me. So yeah.
Can I ask you something? How's your relationship with that one friend?
Oh, amazing. Like, I trust that guy like 100%.
Right. Is it more than how it was when you had the full group of friends?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
thought so.
I mean, this person was probably my closest friend at that time, but the deepness of the friendship grew even more when I let go of those other friends.
Yeah.
To the point now where I could probably trust him with anything that I'm going through. He's the first person I give a shout to if I'm in need of a bit of advice about anything. So yeah, and I think in life you need certain individuals who you can rely upon 100% without that judgment, right?
Yeah, it is important to have certain connections with some people. For example, the whole pandemic that separated people,
Mm,
right? Um I was listening to a Joe Rogan experience one time, and he mentioned something that I really resonated with, and he was talking about, and this I don't even know who he was talking to, but I remember what he said because it resonated with me so well. And this was like a little bit, maybe like 4 or 5 months after the pandemic, like after lockdowns happened and all that stuff. But he was talking to a guest, and he was talking about hugs and how important like the touch with another human being is. And I think what um I think why that is because literally we come from the same thing. Like wherever it is that you come from, I have no fucking clue what you come from, but that's where I come from too. That's all I know. And so literally we're somehow connected. And I think when you completely separate yourself from one another, that's when you start to feel that disconnection. And he was talking about hugs and about how the contact with another human being is actually important. The to the people in jail, like the narcs and stuff, the most tough and the most ruthless type of punishment that they give them is isolation. And you don't think about that's what they're doing to human beings. And literally being isolated from all of other human beings can drive you insane, and it has driven people insane before. I think yes, I think it is important to have a good connection with at least some human beings, just understanding that you're not them, that they're not you. And if at one point something came to be where you had to departure because now you that you want to be isn't necessarily here, then you kind of have to make that choice. But it is important to have those connections. And wherever it is that you go, like say you have a friend and you realize, I don't think that this is serving me anymore, or that I'm not serving this person in the way that I could. Maybe, it's all good. We can cut ties here. And when you go on to something, to somebody else, you're going to take that with you, you're going to take that understanding, so you're going to build another relationship somewhere else, but it's going to be healthier because you're the one choosing. It's going to be better in that way. But yeah, it is important to have communication, connection with other human beings, I feel like.
yeah,
um it's just that understanding your boundaries with your
sure.
own life.
Yeah. And it's interesting you mentioned the pandemic. And as you know, we were speaking on email a couple of days ago, and you mentioned that the pandemic itself was quite profound for you.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd love to know what you meant by being in a position where you can actually see the pandemic as being profound. What kind of inner thoughts and emotions have been going through your own self over the last 12 months?
Yeah. um the pandemic, when it was profound, it's not necessarily, it's no longer a profound thing that's happening, I feel like now.
Right, right.
But I think when it happened, when we started seeing the lockdowns and that kind of stuff, is when it was profound. Because I saw people being different with each other, I feel like, in the stores. This was at the beginning stages though. People were helping each other more. Like it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of strange to see people being so kind to one another. It was a little bit strange because it's like normally you don't see that. Less accidents, less like literally less bad things were happening, or less bad things were happening. um but I saw more of a community kind of society. And um as it started to kind of be like, it looked like the government's fucking playing games now, or it looked like some people started saying, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then riots and all that stuff happened. And I was like, wow, like, that it can go up really quick, and it can come down just as fast. But what was profound to me was that I got to see a glimpse um of masses working together at once, you know. And it kind of gave me this this thought of, what if, you know, is it possible to live like that, to live more at peace, where everybody's actually helping one another? Is it possible for, you know, to have a better kind of like a better societal structure? Does that, if that makes sense, where we're not necessarily hurting each other, and if we commit a crime, instead of just punishing people, we figure out a way to help them see what's more in line with them, and did they actually want to do that, you know, or was it a reaction to something? And you get to their essence and you probably see, oh shit, like they actually didn't want to do that. Okay, well, now that you know your essence, who do you want to be? And like, let's take you there, instead of just putting you in a box where you're going to be by yourself for 24 hours to 72 hours, you know. Instead of doing that, like, try to get to their essence and figure out, yo, like, I feel like when you get to the people, when you get down to the people's essence, you would realize that, not everybody wants to do bad shit. If anything, they're probably reacting, you know. But it made me see, like, what if, and maybe it even, before I was like, no, there's no way you can get masses of people to work together and do this and do that like that. I would be a little more skeptical about it. And the pandemic made me see, like, it can actually probably be done. It can actually start to happen if it's done the right way. What's the right way? I do not know. But luckily, my business, I guess, is taking me in a journey where I might find that out, you know?
Sure. So I want to take this opportunity just for a couple of minutes to talk about the amazing work that you're doing. I know you're involved with your own organization, your own company, One Time Media. How's that going? What's the journey been like having your own setup? And at the end of the show, we can also mention how people can reach out to you, get in touch, and I'll include all your links in the YouTube description as well, so we can
Thank you.
organize that. But yeah, it'd be good to hear your experience. Like, setting something up new by yourself can be quite a challenge, and it can be daunting at times, right? So how have you
Yeah.
found being kind of the head guy at One Time Media?
Well, I mean, it started by myself, really, and I've been making videos for quite a while. I mean, if you go back and watch my first YouTube video, maybe, I mean, it looks bad. It looks terrible, obviously, like
But
everybody
the
else
thing, we
says,
have
you
to
know.
we have to
But
always start somewhere, right?
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I've been making videos for quite a bit, and I've always just kind of wanted to talk about learning about, like, you know, something better, some, like, just mind stuff and life and things like that. And so at first I started making videos without a brand, without nothing attached to it, literally just me posting videos. Um, and eventually I might have said, like, you know, I'll try to make YouTube videos, and that was that. Like, I'll try to grow my YouTube channel, but still no brand, still nothing. And when I attached a brand to it, it feels like it gave me that like fire to even go more at it. Like, now I do way more work than I used to before. But even though I do more work, I'm not more exhausted than I was before. And in fact, I was more exhausted before. It's funny. But now that I've kind of found something that I find very, very in line with me, and the whole name One Time Media, there's a reason to why one time and all that. Like, I've made it so in line with myself that it's easier to put in the work, you know. um but at first it was not, it hasn't been all that easy. I had to understand, again, like, working when I feel like working. If I'm too exhausted, don't do it. The other day I was feeling a little bit tired, so I was like, I know I have to do this. I'm working on another podcast with my brother. It's a different show that we're working on, still under One Time Media.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more of a comedy and like bullshit show, where it's a space where literally we just get to have fun. We just get to enjoy, and, you know, not care about either what people are gonna say about our silliness. Like, it's a space to be, basically be silly, to just
Yeah.
have fun, you know. So I'm
Will
working
this,
on that with
sorry to
him.
stop you, will this be different from the one-time podcast? Or will it
Yes,
be
yes,
different
it's
project?
actually,
Okay.
yes, it's a different project, different. So one time media, it's more of a mind growth and like about your life and hopefully trying to get you more in line with your essence and all that. And the other show, it's gonna be more of a space where we get to joke, we get to laugh, we get to have fun. I might smoke weed with my brother sometimes. Different things like just like it's a space literally where we're not taking things serious because I think people take life too serious, and so we're working on that right now. But yeah, and my journey has been great though, with one time media now, and I think mainly it's because I found something, and I tried to attach it to my essence. I tried to attach it to what I believe and what I feel. And now every time I come and work on my business, I'm literally working on myself as well, um and all that. So that's one way.
That's beautiful, man. Like you're truly trying your best to live what you talk about, right? You
Yeah,
discuss living within your essence, trying to find your essence, and you're trying
ex-
your best to actually practice what you preach, so to speak.
exactly. And as of now, like I'm working, I started this. It's also within one time media, but it's gonna be more like a program later in a year or two. Don't even know. I just know that I started this program now, and what this program is gonna be. I want to take you from start to finish to you getting to know your essence, and then you expressing your essence and living in that way. That's what I want to do. So I'm building a course that I'm working on. I started from right now, and it's not even going to be till like years after. But me working on this course, um it's not just me working on this course for people. Me working on this course is going to put me even much more in line with my essence as well, because what I'm doing is what my essence wants. So every time I work on this stuff, yeah, I'm going to provide it for people and all that stuff, but the growth that I gained in creating that program, there's a beauty to that as well. And yes, everything that I'm pretty much working on, I try to implement it myself.
Awesome. And before we wrap up, if I may, I just wanted to get your kind of advice, your top tips, if you like, from your experience of how we can be more efficient and productive. So if there are any tools, tactics, and strategies that you are implementing yourself that seem to work for you, if you can share it with us, that would be absolutely amazing.
Mhm. Well, for me, well, one is just doing it when you feel like doing it. If you don't feel like doing it, maybe take a second and wait till the next day. And I know sometimes you want to be on a schedule with YouTube and all that, but it gets really hard. And I would just tell you, just do it when you want to do it. And then the next week, if you're posting videos once a week, that week, do it when you want to do it and then edit it. And maybe you wanted to post it on Tuesday and you ended up posting it on Thursday, but guess what? You at least got a video out that was better still within that week. So then the next week comes, don't feel the hesitation to do it again. If you're feeling frustrated when you're coming into doing it, again, just don't do it. Wait for you to feel like you want to do it, and then you do it. And you continue to work like that, and you realize that you start to do things. You start to actually want to do things more for some reason. You start to fall into the um not the routine, but like you will come to posting every Tuesday at one point, but because you've been working on just doing it when you want to, you have become more efficient in the work. You probably learned editing faster and all that stuff. And in you doing it just because you want to, you come back and you realize, oh, now I can be doing it every Tuesday. And now it's not going to feel so much like you have to do it, because you've already been doing it just because you want to do it. Now you're just switching from Thursday to Tuesday. You see what I mean? Or maybe one time it was Thursday and then Friday, and then like 3 weeks after, you're actually starting to do it Tuesday. But now you've kind of fallen in the habit of just doing it when you want to. So you're going to come into it with a much better energy, much more enthusiasm, and people are going to love your videos.
Yeah.
So that's it's so important. It's really key for getting for being efficient. I try to sometimes listen to a video, and I keep rewinding, not video, a book, because I listen to audiobooks, and I keep rewinding, and I'm like, I'm not getting the message here. I rewinded it already 7 times, and I still don't understand it. I'm gonna rewind it an eighth time right now. Let me instead, I kind of feel like listening to some music right now. Let me instead listen to some music. I'm gonna listen to some music for like 30 minutes. I'll probably yell a little bit with the music, with the songs, and later I'll, once I've released that energy, I can come back into listening to the video. But it's doing it, if analyzing
Yeah.
analyzing how I'm feeling, at the moment. Do I really want to be here? And okay, yes, I do want to be here. Well, then, if I want to be here, why am I so mad? Maybe I don't want to be here. Maybe I don't want to be here right now. Maybe I want to relax on the couch. Like, the life you lead, the life I lead, is very different. I repair pallets for a living. Well, not repair pallets for a living. I repair pallets for money. I i have one-time media for a living. That's what I call it. um um so I repair pallets. It's a heavy job, and sometimes I come home and I'm to either make a video, and I'm like, today work was kind of heavy. My body is like feeling like this. Maybe I should take a second to relax. And that has led me, yes, to not posting for like a couple weeks lately, because, but again, people don't know I've been working on a ton of other shit, you know and they might be like, well, you haven't been consistent with your videos. Yeah, I know, but wait till I put out the website, and you're not just going to get videos. You're going to get a blog, you're going to get a podcast, you're going to get another show, you're going to get more posts. But if I would have been trying to push other things, cram them up on there, the website would not be done right now. Like, in fact, I wanted to put out the website before the show with you, and but it's not going to happen. But it's still going to go up today, I believe. um but realistically, I wanted to put the website up since January. I wanted to have it down since January. It's analyze yourself, analyze where you're at the moment, how you're feeling, and do you want to feel that way? If not, maybe you should make a change.
Interesting. Yeah. Wise words. And honestly, I have taken so much on board from this conversation. Like personally for myself, a lot of the questions that I was asking you in this conversation, it just made me think about my own self, because I need to make a lot of improvements in my own mindset, in the way I go about things. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't have the words to express how thankful I am for you giving us this opportunity to have this conversation.
Thank you for inviting me. I was kind of nervous coming in, but I'm not gonna lie, you actually make the conversations pretty easy to go into, because like, sometimes it feels like, like, you feel a little bit nervous, and like, but you've been so friendly throughout the conversation that it has eased a lot of that nervousness that I had, the hesitation and all that.
That's
And
cool, man. Yeah, it's
that
nice. It's good to hear that. And likewise, but I was super excited about this.
me
Literally,
too.
before we went live to record this, I was talking to my brothers, um, and they were saying, "Oh, how's it going? How's the prep going?" I said, "Yeah." For some reason, I'm really looking forward to this particular episode, and I
Yeah,
think I posted something similar on social as well,
I saw
saying
it.
how excited I was. Right?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. And genuinely, I was, because although we haven't spoken at length over the past year and a half, I think from my experience, the time that we have connected, I felt that there was a real kind kind of depth to your
Yeah.
conversation. And it was confirmed when I started watching your content on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Um, so yeah, I guess from your point of view, what I want to say was, I appreciate what you were saying in terms of thinking that you're not posting enough. But honestly, dude, like from my side, like if I go onto your page, your YouTube page, I don't even think, oh, when did this guy last post? I actually
Mm.
just look at your content and look at your videos, and they're
Hmm.
presented nicely. You speak well, the audio's great, your setup's good, and it's about the message, dude. So,
Yeah.
like you were saying, you're on your own journey, going at your own pace. I'm trying to go at my own pace. The other guy's trying to go at his pace. She's trying to
Exactly.
do her pace, and we're all kind of living our own individual lives, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know that from an outside observer, someone looking at your work, it's impactful. So I
Thank
just
you.
wanted you to know that, like
Thank you.
that's genuine. I'm saying that for you, honestly.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and just continue doing what you're doing, create the awesome content that you're creating, and I'm sure you will help and move a lot of people who resonate with your work, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's I hope that that happens. I surely do hope that happens, because if not, I'm probably still going to continue doing it for free and find a different way to make money, you know. It's
Yeah,
just when you realize that you actually love what you do, like I look at my things, and I don't have to do the things that I'm doing. I really don't. But I want to do them. It doesn't have to succeed, but I want it to, you know. But the fact that it doesn't have to now, if it doesn't happen, it's whatever. I'm gonna continue doing it because I love it, and just find a different way to make money and live the life that I want to in that way, you know. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate the feedback.
no worries at all, man. And thank you again. Now, before we wrap up, I'm sure lots of people um, who watch this, we don't know how many people will watch this, but if there's one, there's one. For that one person who tunes in, if they want to get in touch with you and they want to know more about yourself, your work, I know you're on social media. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but your Instagram page is Bryan.Sigue. So that's BRYAN.SIGUE. So you can catch Bryan Sigue on Instagram, connect with him, reach out to him. I'm sure he'll provide you with the immense value. And on YouTube as well, I believe if you type in Bryan Sigue on YouTube,
Yeah.
you will see all his videos, highly recommended. Do check them out. I'm sure you will benefit from them. I've seen you on Facebook as well. How active are you on Facebook, Bryan? Do you like Facebook as a platform or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can definitely go on to Facebook as well. I believe it should be the same for Bryan Sigue. That's all my personal my personal Facebook, my personal social medias, which is where I do like my personal work, and like I work on like I talk to people in person there and that kind of stuff. The business social medias are separate from my personal, just, you know what I mean, trying to keep the two.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, Facebook works as well with Bryan Siege.
Cool. Awesome. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, connect with Bryan and follow his amazing work. I've been following him for a while now, and hand on heart, I can say I always benefit from his
Thank you.
content, and I'm sure you will as well. So Bryan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry, I've taken more than an hour. We did
No.
have an hour schedule. We've gone 10 minutes over. So I'm really
No, I actually don't have a problem with it. I was actually gonna like say sorry to you if I took too much
no,
of
no,
your
no, not
time.
at all, not at all. But it's good. I like the way the conversation flowed, so it's all good. It's all good. But
Yeah, I loved
listen,
it too.
Bryan, I'm sure we'll stay in touch. Um, Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I appreciate it, especially with the time difference. But
Yeah.
we managed to make it work, so that's good.
No, thank you. I know that your time is later right now. My time, it's, I mean, the day's still, it's still kind of bright outside, you know. It's 1:10 here.
Yeah,
I still got time. If anything, I'm gonna get ready here soon to go look at the bus thing. And
yeah. Good luck with that,
um
man. I hope that all
thank
works
you.
out. And
Thank you. Yeah, you'll probably see it on the stories or something.
yeah, post some pictures. I'd love to know how it will go.
Yeah, definitely we'll do
It
that.
sounds exciting. And do send me a link to that podcast as well that you're doing, the new one.
Oh yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to check that out.
Yeah, it's not out yet. It's a coming soon type thing,
Okay,
because my
cool.
brother, we've like he's come, we've recorded a couple times, but my brother hasn't always been in the podcasting space and things
Right,
like
right.
that, so he's starting to do that. So he's kind of getting comfortable with it. We're kind of building a structure of the business a little bit, so that when we launch, it's a little bit better. But as soon as it's out there, I'll send you a link, and yeah.
Yeah, do send me a link.
Yeah,
Looking
and
forward
if
to
not,
watching
either
that.
Yeah, and if not, either way, also all the podcasts that I create and all the content that I create, even in Spanish, because I build content in Spanish. Like I have a special YouTube channel in which I will be building content in Spanish and that kind of stuff. All that is going to be, and a Spanish podcast as well. All that is going to be also on the website as onetimemedia.com. So they can, that should be up today. We should publish the website up today, hopefully. So yeah,
Awesome.
excited for
Awesome.
that. But
Good stuff.
yeah,
So yeah,
thank you.
I'll definitely include all your links in the notes at the bottom of YouTube so people can get in touch that way as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good day.
You too. And thank you so
again.
much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Man. It's been my pleasure. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hello again. I just wanted to say a massive thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that episode with Bryan Sigue as much as I did. Now, if you want to stay in touch with Bryan, if you want to connect with some of his work, I've included all of his social media links at the bottom of this YouTube description, so you can check that out. And also, if you want to stay updated with my upcoming YouTube videos, I post right here on my YouTube channel every week. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you once again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.